Did you know that our earliest ancestors were hunters? It's true. The earliest fossils of Homo sapiens show that they hunted animals for food. But how did these early humans hunt? What tools did they use? And why was hunting important to their survival? Let's find out more in today's episode. 6.2 million years ago, our ancestors are still chimpanzees. Yes, that's right. Even though we've come a long way since then, we are still related to chimpanzees. In fact, they are our closest living relatives. Although there is some debate over exactly what our earliest ancestors were like, most scientists agree that they were ape-like creatures that lived in trees. These apes were small, only about the size of a modern chimpanzee. They had long arms and short legs, which helped them swing from branch to branch. They were also very agile and could easily navigate the forest canopy. However, as the forest began to clear and grasslands started to appear, these apes were forced to come down from the trees and live on the ground. This change in habitat also brought with it new predators, such as big cats and hyenas. To defend themselves, our ancestors needed to become stronger and more aggressive. They started to walk upright on two legs instead of on all four. This allowed them to see over the tall grasses and spot danger from far away. It also freed up their hands so they could carry weapons or tools. Our ancestors were now becoming more human-like. But life was still tough, and they were still at the mercy of the elements. They had to find ways to get enough food to eat and stay safe from predators. That's when hunting came along. At first, hunting was probably not a planned activity. It was more of a matter of opportunism. If an animal wandered too close to their territory, our ancestors would kill it and eat it. Over time, however, our ancestors became more sophisticated in their hunting techniques. They started working together in groups to take down larger animals. They also developed simple tools made from stones and wood that they used as weapons or to catch prey. 3.4 million years ago, Australopithecus afarensis. Now let's talk about one of our earliest ancestors, the Australopithecus afarensis. This species lived in Africa from about 4 million to 2.9 million years ago. They were very similar to modern chimpanzees in terms of brain size and body shape. However, they walked upright on two legs and had much larger brains than chimps. The discovery of the famous Lucy fossil in Ethiopia in 1976 helped scientists learn more about the Australopithecus afarensis. Lucy was a female of this species, who died around 3.2 million years ago. Her skeleton was 40% complete and provided valuable insights into the evolution of early humans. Lucy's skeleton showed that she walked upright on two legs, had a small brain relative to her body size, and was about 4 feet tall. She also had a long arm span and short, strong legs, which suggests that she spent a lot of time climbing trees. While Australopithecus afarensis were adept at climbing trees, they also ventured on the ground, where they used simple tools made of stone and wood. They hunted small animals and ate plants. However, they did not fully walk upright on two legs while on the ground and spent a lot of time knuckle walking like chimpanzees. They also lived in groups and communicated with each other using a variety of vocalizations. Overall, the Australopithecus afarensis were a fascinating species that played a key role in the evolution of early humans. Their discovery has helped scientists better understand the origins of our species and our place in the natural world. 2.6 million years ago, Homo habilis, the handyman. Next, let's look at Homo habilis, also known as the handyman. They lived in Africa from about 2.6 million to 1.8 million years ago and were the first members of the genus Homo. Homo habilis had larger brains than their predecessors and were able to make more complex tools. They were also the first early humans to hunt wild animals using weapons such as spears. Homo habilis lived in groups and had a more complex social structure than earlier hominids. They were also the first early humans to cook their food, which may have helped them expand their diet and increase their brain size. Homo habilis were successful in their environment and were able to spread throughout Africa. However, they faced competition from other hominid species such as the Australopithecus africanus. Ultimately, they went extinct, but their descendants, including Homo erectus and Neanderthals, would go on to inhabit many parts of the world. Homo habilis remain an important part of our evolutionary history, and their discoveries continue to provide valuable insights into the origins of our species. 1.8 million years ago, Homo erectus is the upright man. Now let's look at Homo erectus, also known as the upright man. They lived from about 1.8 million to 117,000 years ago and were the first early humans to migrate out of Africa. Homo erectus had larger brains and more advanced tool-making abilities than their predecessors. They also developed new hunting techniques, such as using traps, and were the first early humans to use fire. Homo erectus lived in groups and had a more complex social structure than earlier hominids. They also had a distinct language system, which allowed them to communicate more effectively and coordinate their activities. Homo erectus were highly adaptable and were able to thrive in a variety of environments. They were also skilled hunters and were able to take down large animals using their weapons and their knowledge of their prey's behavior. Homo erectus remains an important part of our evolutionary history, and their discoveries continue to provide valuable insights into the origins of our species and the development of human culture. 400,000 years ago, Neanderthals. Finally, let's look at the Neanderthals. It's a group of archaic humans who lived in Europe and parts of Asia from about 400,000 to 40,000 years ago. Neanderthals were stockier and shorter than modern humans, but had a larger brain and were more muscular. They were skilled hunters and used spears and other weapons to take down their prey. Neanderthals also lived in groups and had a complex social structure. They cared for their sick and injured and buried their dead. Neanderthals were highly adaptable and were able to survive in a variety of environments, including cold and icy conditions. They also had a sophisticated culture and created cave paintings and other works of art. Despite their many skills and adaptations, the Neanderthals eventually went extinct. However, they left behind a legacy that continues to fascinate us today. Their discoveries have helped us better understand the evolution of our species and the development of human culture. And so there we have it. From the first primitive hunters 6.2 million years ago to the Neanderthals 400,000 years ago, the history of human hunting is a fascinating one. It's a testament to the ingenuity, adaptability, and sheer determination of our ancestors, that they were able to go from scavenging for food to planning and executing complex hunts. As we look back on this long history, we can appreciate the role that hunting has played in shaping our species and the world around us. Now it's your turn. Which era of human hunting do you find the most interesting? Why, share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.